This lesson is on percents. We're going to start off with simple interest formula. Your simple interest formula is I equals PRT. I stands for your interest in dollars. Your interest is like free money, money that the bank is going to give you if you keep your money in there and just let them hold on to it. They're going to give you a bonus, give you some free money because you've left it with them. P is your principal. Principal, again, is in dollars because the principal is the money that you invest. So that is money you invest. The money you start with. Okay? R is your annual interest rate, and it must be written as a decimal. You will see decimals, but they're written in percent form in the equation, and we're going to change them from percent form to decimal form. So to change it from percent form to decimal form, you're always going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. We'll show that as we go through the first example. The last thing is T. T is represented as time in years. So if we have it invested for 10 years, then we would put a 10 there. If we only put it in for 6 months, then we would have to use 0.5 or 1/2 because it's only half of a year. So 0.5 would be what we would use for T in that case. If you invest $60 at a simple interest rate of 3.5% per year for 4 years, how much interest did you earn? Okay, well, I equals PRT is my formula. And the reason I know it's my formula is because it says simple interest. Our question says, how much interest did you earn? I'm trying to find my interest. So that's going to stay my variable. The P represents my principal. Principal is what you invest. If you invest $60, so 60 goes right here. The next one is the one that tricks a lot of people, and this is where students miss this the most. Must be written as a decimal. Now, I know this is a decimal. Your interest rate is going to be the one with a percent. And yes, this is a decimal, but it's written in percent form and not decimal form. It's got to be written in decimal form. So, percent form to decimal form, what you do is you move your decimal 2 places to the left. So it would be 0. Now you don't need that 0, but you need this one, 0.35. So you change it from percent form to decimal form. And then your time is years. How many years? It's 4. And then it's as simple as type that in your calculator. When you type that in your calculator, you multiply those 3 numbers together. It's all multiply. You get an interest of $8.40. Make sure it looks like money. I know in the calculator it says 8.4. Make sure it looks like money. Or if you have to round your numbers, make sure you round it properly so it looks like money. So that's how much interest you earn. So if you put $60 in the bank, and they're going to award you 3.5%, and you leave that money and don't touch it for 4 years, you get an extra $8.40 just for leaving your money there. It's not a bad deal for free money. Question 2. You deposit $850 in a savings account that earns a simple interest. Right there we know our formula that we're going to use, simple interest formula. Rate of 4.5% per year. You want to keep the money in the account for 5 years. How much interest will you earn? So I equals PRT is our formula because it's simple interest. You deposit. Deposit is another word for invest. Okay, you put that money in the bank, $850. Our rate is 4.5, so 4.5% means I have to move that decimal 2 places to the left. So it's 0.045. Time, we're leaving it in there for 5 years. Multiply that out, and you get I equals 191.25. Now, that's a really high percent. And that's a lot of money to put in and not touch for a while. So this is a lot of money that you're going to get in return. So the more money you invest, the longer you leave it there, the higher percent you can gain, the more money you're going to make. Now, one thing they could do on the test, on my test, on the EOC test, on any of these tests, instead of asking how much interest will you earn, there's another way they could ask this. What if they asked, how much do you have in the bank? Well, you would still have to do all of this stuff. You'd still have to solve all that to figure out how much interest you have. But if they're not asking how much interest you have, but rather how much do you have in the bank, well, you started with $850. And they're going to give you this free money. So the money that you have in the bank is now $1,041.25. So just make sure you pay close attention to what the question is asking. Are they asking for the interest, or are they asking how much total money you have? And we're going to switch gears a little bit, get away from simple interest, but still work with those percents. Our key concept. The book and, I don't know why, they show it a lot of different ways. If you can remember this formula, is over of equals percent over 100, you can solve every problem using cross multiplying. You don't have to change whether you're missing the is number or the of number or the percent number. It's all the same if you set it up this way. The book shows it 3 different ways to solve this type of problem. So I want to give you one way that works for all 3 types. Is over of percent over 100. Now when I'm presented with questions like this, what I like to do is make 3 boxes to represent that, that, and that. And those 3 boxes will include every single word in the problem. So here's my question, what? What am I trying to find? What I'm trying to find is that percent. Of. The of number is 40. And the is number is 6. So see how I've boxed everything up? I have a number with each of those words. And the one I don't have a number with is the question. That's what I'm looking to find. So what I'm going to do is make my proportions by 2 ratios with an equal sign in the middle is called a proportion. And you're going to look, what's my is number? The number in the box with the is a 6. Over of 40, so 40. Your percent, what percent? That's my question, so that's an X. And 100 is always right there. From there, you're going to use cross product property, or in other words, cross multiplying. 6 times 100 is 600. 40 times X is 40X. Divide both sides by 40. And X equals 15. Now, because this question asks what percent, we should put 15%. Okay, here's my next one. 125% of what number is 17.5? So 125, there's a number, there's my symbol. 125%. Of what? Of what number? There's my X. So the of is the X this time, is 17.5. Set up our proportions. Is over of. Is 17.5. Of is our question, that's my what. Percent, 125 over 100. Is over of, percent over 100. Now you're going to cross multiply. It gives you 1750 equal to 125x. Divide both sides by 125. And x equals 14. So what is that number? That number is 14. Last one here. What is 45% of 15? What is the question? Is 45% of 15. Is over of, percent over 100, is, there's my question, of 15, percent, 45, and 100. Cross multiply, you get 100x, equal to, multiplying those, you get 675. Divide both sides by 100, and you get x equals 6.75. Now we can still use this concept when we see a word problem. A shirt that costs $38.50 is on sale for 40% off. What is the price? What is the sale price? So the shirt costs $38.50 on sale for 40% off. Now, if we go back and look at this, these numbers, this is a percent number. This is 100%. This is part of the 100%. This is the whole 100%. This is 6 out of 40. That's what it's really saying. This is 6.75 out of 15. This is 40 out of 100. So these numbers, these are both percent numbers, 45%, 100%. This is part, this is the whole thing. This is part, this is the whole thing. And that's the concept you want to use as you're thinking about this problem. We see the 40%. So if I'm starting to think is over of, percent over 100, I know it's 40 over 100. Now remember, that's 40 is the part out of the whole thing. The whole big picture. Now if we think of it as part over whole and part over whole, we might be able to figure out where that 38.50 goes. So is 38.50 the whole price, or is that part of the price? Well, that was the original price. That's the whole price of the shirt. We're going to take some money off of it, but that whole price is $38.50. We're trying to figure out that part that we're going to take off the price. So now we can cross multiply. 38.50 times 40, that gives you 1540. X times 100 is 100x. And then as you divide by 100, you get x equals 15.4, 1540. That's money. Now that's the part that they're going to take off, because it's 40% off. This is 1540 off of the price. So the original cost was $38.50. Got to make sure you read that question. What is the sale price? The sale price is not going to be $15.40. The sale price is going to be, take that off, and now you're left with $23.10. That's the price you're going to pay.